guys, JuV Day 9! I've actually come up with a source material for a So You Like. So, it's time for this month's So You Like, my monthly recommendation series where I take a piece of media that I've been consuming recently and tell you some things that you might like based on it. This month's piece of media is I Only Listen to the Mountain Goats, which is a podcast by John Darnielle of the Mountain Goats and Joseph Fink of Night Vale fame. And they talk about the shifting lines between creator and fan and creation and how things all work out on that front, and they sort of listen to each song on one of the Mountain Goats albums and then talk about that song, the creative process that went into it, stuff, various tangents and things like that, and it's just a really interesting sort of meta-narrative on the Mountain Goats' work, but also on the lives of the two men themselves. So I've got a couple of suggestions for that. It's a podcast rather than a TV show, which has been the norm for a lot of my So You Likes of late, but this one works pretty well for that, I'd say. Be prepared for the recommendations in this month's So You Like to be mostly digital fare, because, well, there's not a lot of meta-narratives in regular media, and so they're mostly going to be YouTube podcasts and stuff like that, but there is more than just that. So the first thing that I'm going to recommend to you based on I Only Listen to the Mountain Goats is Misako X. This is a YouTube guy. He does videos about Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super and etc, etc, and he talks a lot about the process that goes into it. He's also been part of stuff to do with Dragon Ball, with the fact that he's one of the members of Team 4-Star. He's a sort of freelance member of them, almost, sort of, and he does a lot of talking about meta-narratives, and he has been making his own Dragon Ball fanfiction-y things that are pretty well made, actually, but he talks a lot about the process and the symbolism and things in a similar way to I Only Listen to the Mountain Goats. Now, you maybe want to give this one a miss because it is mainly Dragon Ball content, but if you do like Dragon Ball and I Only Listen to the Mountain Goats, you probably already are watching Misako, so... The next thing I'm going to recommend to you based on I Only Listen to the Mountain Goats is Harry Potter and the Sacred Text, which is also doing a very similar idea of going back through a piece of media and looking at symbolism and all that sort of things within the meta-narrative a lot. So Harry Potter and the Sacred Text is more focused on the fiction rather than music, but it still works really quite well, and they're both on Night Vale Presents now. The original network that Harry Potter and the Sacred Text used was, I can't even remember now, but they've since moved on over to Night Vale, and they're both associated, basically. Now, the third one that I'm going to recommend to you based on I Only Listen to the Mountain Goats is Chuggaaconroy, another YouTuber. He does gaming videos. He's been doing them for a long time. He does this whole thing where he just plays the games that he loves, and he kind of does them slightly more walkthrough-y, but he also talks a lot about just things, and he's grown up doing this stuff. He's been playing games that he loves, and just that. He talks about the process that he's gone through with stuff. He's talked about the way that things were while he does games and how the games worked out for him and all sorts of stuff. And it's just a labour of love for him. He loves playing these games, and they're mainly Nintendo based. He just loves it, and it's the same sort of pure love that Joseph Fink feels for the Mountain Goats, which is just fantastic. It's a pure feeling and kind of evocative of both. Now, the last thing I'm going to recommend to you based on I Only Listen to the Mountain Goats is Afterworld by Scott Westerfeld, which is a very clever book. And the idea behind Afterworlds is two plot lines in it. The first one is a YA book. It's just a narrative from a YA book. It's using a mythology, and it's going through and sort of talking, doing the whole thing. The other narrative plot thread of it is the person that wrote this book. it's a very interesting meta-narrative book where they talk, where it's the person writes the book is also in there, and at the same time they are going about doing all of the things to do with publishing the book, and it's a really clever book. I really enjoyed it way back when I read it. I did a review, I might link that in the description if I can find it enough, and you should go check that one out. It's a good one. Similarly, meta-narrative about creating a thing. It's cool. So those are my recommendations based on I Only Listen to the Mountain Goats. If you like them, let me know. I want to know if I've missed anything out though, so let me know down there. I would really love to hear from you, so drop me a comment. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and that you remember to like and share it, and subscribe to my channel. Click on the thumbnails down below to see other videos by me, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the next day of JuV. Bye!